All right, guys, so we're back. This one is going to be quite a bit of math, and you can take a look at that. I am showing my work for all the math geeks and the math teachers. This one is working on measuring out the bird's mouth. Yep, I'm doing it the opposite direction so that I can read the tape measure the correct way. I'm still going to end up cutting this way, so that's going to end up over here, and then this is going to end up over there, and so the tape measure will be upside down. So hopefully it all makes sense to you. This one, I'm working on marking out the bird's mouths on these, and what I did was, this one I did all in inches. So this one, you can say, well, the last one you did in feet, why are we doing this one in inches? Well, this one is going to be a 10-foot wide front. I guess the width of the shed is going to be 10 feet wide. So instead of trying to figure out 5.5, because if I do 5.5, then eventually I somehow we still deal with feet. So there are tape measures that'll do that, but my tape measure goes in inches and feet, so not in fraction. Kind of a little bit of a side note, there are, speaking a little bit of experience from working the long jump pits in track and field, there are some long tape measures that have fractions, and some are in inches, and just out of experience, there was one meet where there wasn't a single person that got 11 inches. And you can kind of think through why there wasn't a single jumper. And there were a lot of jumpers that never got anything in increments of 10 or 11 inches. Everything went up to so-and-so feet, and 8, 9, and that was as far as it went. And you can think about the different type of tape measure they had. Anyway, just to keep everything simple as terms of conversion factor, this one also has a 412 pitch, which lo and behold, it turns out to 20 and 60, which looks a lot like the 2 and 6 that we had on our other shed that was 12 feet wide. So we did a similar math, and on this one I did order of operation really isn't the difference. But what I did on this one was we got the height of 20 inches and then 60 inches, which is equivalent to 5.5 feet. And then I added half an inch again for the sheeting, and this one is just going to get the T111 siding, so that's effectively half an inch, give or take. It's, I think it might actually be like 9/16 or something, but it's within margin of error as far as we're concerned. So 20 squared is 400, 60.5 squared is 3,660.25. Yeah, I know, I did the math here twice, and then ignore this because I just added together, and then my calculator wasn't working too nice. So basically it's the square root of 4,060.25 inches, and lo and behold, you basically get 63.72 inches. Boom, we're gonna call that 63 3/4. We'll just say that's our margin of error for the extra 1/16 of material in the T111 siding that we're gonna be using on this. So what we're going to do is, again, we're going to kind of continue what I did, talked about in one of the previous videos here, hooked on the bottom, and then we're going to come over here and mark this at 63 3/4 of an inch. All right, nice. And I'll come back with the saw. The saw is still set at the right angle. So here's the other lesson. We've got that much wood left. These are 8-footers. Now the question is, if I had been thinking ahead, what would have been the right size? So that's, it's technically an inch short because of, buzzing it, but the bottom is still at 8 feet. So the question is, what do you do with that? Okay, so that's 8, there's 7, 6. So basically I've got 2.5 feet. So would I have been better off getting 6-footers, getting 12-footers, cutting them in half? I don't know. I'd have to run the numbers on it. I just knew when I ordered the materials, I wasn't exactly sure what the size is. The other thing to keep in mind is this shed is going to get steel. So it's going to have a steel roof on it. So everything got ordered at 6-foot length of steel. So basically we're going to leave these. They're probably going to just do a plumb cut here at 6 feet. We'll slide the tin down a little bit, an inch. That'll leave us enough for a gap at the top. We'll see how that works. Actually, with this one, I think we're going to do gable vents. But anyway, what we're end up with is 2 foot of waste. And I guess the lesson here is how big of a mistake was that? Each one of these boards has a price, and we got to figure out would we have been better off getting 12 footers? And that's kind of a good question. Again, we're just doing a little shed, so it's really not that big of a deal. Everything here is going to be on 2 foot centers for that. Now, what I do want to highlight with this board as I was getting it out is, ouch, that is U-G-L-Y, ugly. So when we put sheeting on our purlins, and we'll see which way we go on that, this is one of those where you just got to be a little bit careful and make sure that they line up. Otherwise, when we start nailing sheeting down, we're just going to completely miss. So that was about the only difference. The rest of this is going to be the same. I'm going to mark these out with a saw. They're still going to get cut. I believe if I got my angle, it's going to come in at an angle like that. So this is going to get cut like this. I'm going to come up and over, and then that'll be the outside. So that's it for this one, and we'll see where we get on the next one.